Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, my name is Michelle and we are watching Succession Season 4, Episode 9. Now we've made it. It is the penultimate episode of Succession. It's like we're almost one more episode and it's done. Now at the end of last episode, they mentioned that Logan's funeral is it's coming up. I believe they said it was the next day, like his funeral. So I'm imagining it's in this episode because it was election eve in episode 8. In episode 7. Election day in episode 8, and now the 9 I think will be his funeral. It's all happening very close together. It's all bunched up. Like there hasn't been a lot of passage of time. That is very interesting. I like that though. I like that it's like back to back to back. Like you're getting everything. It's like in real time, sort of. Last episode, we got the election of Mencken, which was teased back in season 3. And I always felt like that episode had a very like bleak feel to it. I don't know, like the way the episode ended, the music, the shots of Shiv, it always felt like ew. You always got like nasty feelings in that episode. At least I did. And I always felt like that was going to be a turning point or something that was going to really come back around and matter. And it sure did. Like it really did pay off last episode. That was such a poignant episode, an excellent episode. It was, I can't sing the praises of the cast. They're all excellent actors. The acting was on point. I feel like the episode was done with such care because clearly they were referencing the 2016 election. So that was in there. And I feel like they kept it in the realm of Succession. I mentioned this in the last reaction, but it felt true to the characters. It felt true to the story they have built. It didn't feel like it was going outside of itself to tell a story on current events. Now, Roman, I think this episode might be the funeral. If it's not, then whoops. But if it is, I believe Roman is supposed to be speaking at that funeral. And Roman is on my shit list. He's on my shit list, and you all know why. If you've been watching, you all know why. A character like Roman has never been the character I go to. He very much fits the archetype of, like, I like damaged characters, but not that kind of damaged characters. Like the damaged ones where they're kind, they're courteous, but they have like, how do you call it? They're like a Punisher. Like he's kind, he's courteous, but he has a tendency to murder. Like those are the messed up, screwed up characters, broken, depressed characters that I tend to gravitate towards. The ones that are broken and depressed and clearly messed up, but they become 4chaners, they become Redditors, they're like that, you know, sexism, misogyny, racism, fascism, the edgelord type ones. Those characters aren't the ones that gravitate towards, like where their jokes are just in poor taste. Those aren't the characters I tend to gravitate towards. I don't find them funny. I don't find them humorous. I like broken characters, just not that kind. Not when their brokenness lead them to essentially becomes a walking 4chaner. Like every word out of their mouth could have come off 4chan. I got no interest in those characters at all. I generally don't like them. So Roman is a character where I find myself liking in some stances, and like I believe it was towards the end of season 2, like when he was kidnapped, when he seemed to like become a bit more somber, a bit more serious, a bit more not jokey like he wasn't really too much of the jokes. And then he just, or was it season 3? No, it was season 2. He was kidnapped, right? Towards the end of season 2, right when they were gonna set Ken up to take the fall for the cruise line thing. And it was around that time. That was when I really started to like him. And then season 3 happened and I went right back to like hating him again. And then I I ebb and flow with all of these characters. But Logan Roy was one I hated from the beginning to the very end. So Logan Roy stands alone in that accomplishment. Now, I'm excited to get into this episode. If it is his funeral episode, I can only imagine how heavy it's going to be. So, prepare myself. I cried in the episode he died, mostly because of Shiv and Connor. Those two, their reactions got to me. I bawled. So, you're still hoping I don't cry in this episode. Anyways, grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever it is you like to do when you watch your favorite reaction. Just get comfortable and let's get to it.
Crowds of angry protesters continue to make their way towards ATN's headquarters, and with reports of a number of instances of street violence and intimidation, the NYPD is urging the public.
Oh my God.
My father, Logan Roy, was a great man in the true sense of the word. Born the middle child of 3, he was sent away during the Second World War.
Would you inevitably break down and have an emotional breakdown when you do your little daddy's eulogy? I will feel nothing for you. I'll probably laugh, and you'll probably hate me for laughing, because, you know, I'm pretty sure y'all want me to have an emotional response towards Roman having an emotional response. It ain't gonna happen.
Hey.
Hey, Ken. Listen, I just want to say that I am concerned, okay? Everybody's saying that there's going to be major disturbances. I think we're going to head upstate today, and
What?
I'm really sorry, but that is my decision, okay?
She said, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge.
What a shit show, huh?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Are you watching?
Yeah. I reckon you should get your bad numbers out, because it's just become an amazing day to bury bad news.
Well, how do we get around Mencken?
He's out of tune with some deep sentiments in this country.
Yeah, well, you've been a democracy for like 50 years, so...
What? No, I mean, well...
Y'all are not about to get me agreeing with damn Swade, who keeps sending blood to harass an ex-girlfriend. God, why? I'm still stuck on that. Kendall, don't be an ass. Whatever's about to happen here, please don't be an ass.
What are you doing?
Okay,
What do you think you're doing?
Ken.
What the fuck is going on? You're too online, okay? You've lost context. Everything is fine.
Nothing is fine.
Open up.
Ken, it's okay. Ken, you've got to stop.
This is yeah, you're probably freaking them out right now.
Okay, but we are going to go, and there will be a memorial.
He didn't want a memorial. He didn't want a memorial. I'm gonna go to court to get an emergency court order to stop you leaving the city. That's what I'm gonna do.
So yeah, you go do that in this traffic. Go ahead.
I'm gonna block your car. I'm gonna lie in front of your fucking car. Okay, you're gonna have to run me over if you want to go.
Move! Run him over! Run him over! Good, Robin. Take them kids and go. I've been saying that for a while now. Pack the kids up and let's go.
You okay?
Yeah, good. Rava's taking the kids out of the city. She's concerned.
That's dumb and shitty.
Yeah, I know. He wouldn't understand what it feels like, a parent putting their child first. They've never gotten that. So, of course, they can't relate to Rava getting her children out of Dodge.
I should tell you, because I'm telling Mom today, probably, so...
Her pregnancy?
I'm pregnant. There you go.
Is it mine?
Yeah, uh-huh.
You know I'm not gonna stop with the joke things. I'm also, like, if I see you breastfeeding, I am gonna have to jerk off. Be hot.
Do you know how disgusting you are?
Do you love it?
No.
Should we bone again?
No.
Kid number 2?
Guys, can we today, shall we, for the funeral? Just, yeah, cool.
He said, can y'all not be y'all? We're burying Dad. Can you two stop being you two?
I dropped a pin. I can guide you.
Don't worry, I'm pretty sure that car is bulletproof. Y'all are fine. Because it never touches people like y'all. Y'all are very protected.
Okay.
I want to speak with some family lawyers. Custody. I want custody.
Why?
Okay.
To scar your children even more? Yeah, let's scar them kids up even more. Even Jess looks shocked. You full custody?
Let's just meet with you.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Okay. Well, let's bump that. So what is it? What is this?
Yeah, shall we just do it when we do it? I just want to talk about my, situation.
Is she trying to quit? Yes, Jess!
And this is a big day. I don't want to do this today.
No, well, now I'm thinking, like, all kinds of things.
Ken, she says she doesn't want to quit on your daddy's funeral. Bump it. Don't bump it up, bump it back down.
So I'm sure that you can understand that it might be a good time for me to move on to another position.
You have no idea how things will turn out, and it's very juvenile. It's fucking dumb. You're being dumb. Everybody's being fucking dumb.
I hate y'all. I hate this family. Oh my god.
Nice timing, Jess. Lovely day to tell me.
She didn't
really
want...
thoughtful.
How many times did she say no? How many times did the girl say no and you refused to listen? You refused to listen. She said no. And it wasn't even scheduled for that day. You bumped it up.
How much of you is glad?
Well, I mean, we have
get to it, Jerry. Get to the real point. We happy that man's dead.
Stockholm syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi, darling.
Hello.
Oh.
Yeah, Mama knows.
Well, we can go into this later, but didn't think to let me know.
I have to be careful the information that I give you because you might use it against me.
Oh, so sad.
Hi.
So sad.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Dad.
Kendall's like, don't touch me.
Well, if I offer him an American CEO, who would you have in mind?
Shiv Roy.
Shiv Roy.
Yeah.
Okay. Very inexperienced, though, huh?
They always go to her experience. Just get to it.
You know what I've heard? That she's,
Oh, wow.
She's one of those hard bitches, right? Who's gonna do what, 36 hours of maternity leave, emailing through her vanity cesarean. Poor kid will never see her.
You know, pregnant at all, chances are she's still better than Roman and Kendall. I hate them.
Kerry, why don't you come and sit with us?
Yeah, you're sure that's okay?
Absolutely. Sally Ann.
Caroline.
This is Kerry, Sally Ann.
Is this another mistress for is she getting all the mistresses together?
God, Logan would hate this.
At least he won't grind his teeth tonight.
Oh, wow. Oh, Carrie. Oh, Carrie. She's the one who watched the man die. I get it. Y'all were all probably with him longer. History, children. I get it. It's just... And where is Connor's mother? Is she still locked up? Dead?
Into your hands, Father of mercies, we commend our brother Logan in the sure and certain hope that together with all who have died in Christ, he will rise with him.
Greg.
Y'all not about to tackle this man with a cane.
Hi, I think maybe you're not on for today?
Thank you. I'm going to speak.
Gramps?
Can
I get it.
What do you want me to do?
It's his brother. I get they had a very sordid past, but like, it's his brother. He's known him longer than anyone here. Let the man speak.
What sort of people would stop a brother speaking for the sake of a share price?
Oh, shit.
It is not for me to judge my brother. History will tell that story.
And God will have his ass. Or maybe not.
They told us children that if we spoke or coughed or moved an inch, vibrations through the hull, and we would die in the drink right there in the hold. A 4-year-old and a 5.5-year-old speaking with our eyes. He wasn't well, he was sick. And he mewed and he cried, and in the end, he got out and came home. Our little sister, she was a baby, but she was there by then.
Is that why he blamed himself? Because did she catch
He
his
always
sick?
believed that he brought home the polio with him, which took her. I don't even know if that's true. And Uncle certainly did nothing to disabuse him of that notion. They let it lie with him. But I can't help but say, he has wrought the most terrible things. Now and then darkened the skies a little, closed men's hearts, fed that dark flame in men. He gave away a few million of his billions, but he was not a generous man. He was mean, and he made but a mean estimation of the world. And he fed a certain kind of meagerness in men, because he had a meagerness about him, and maybe I do about me too. But sometime he decided not to try anymore. And it was a terrible shame. Godspeed, my brother, and God bless.
I couldn't say anything through that. I don't know what I loved more, the writing, the actor, his delivery, his cadence, his honesty. What a performance. And what a perfect summation of Logan. I love that. That might have been my favorite piece of Succession. This ain't gonna go well.
My father, Logan Roy, he was a great... Yeah, no, so I can't do the thing. I actually can't do that anymore. I can't. I tried to sing it. I can't.
It's okay, just take a breath.
Is he in there?
Yeah.
Get him out.
Just
Oh
bear with
my
me a second,
God.
please. I'm gonna try to just...
I can't believe it. I couldn't cry in that scene because that hit too close to home. I couldn't get through my speech to my dad on his funeral either. I just went up there and cried and they had to take me off the... Yeah. I get it. I completely get that. I couldn't do it either. I literally went up there and then they had to take me off. I couldn't talk.
Stand in for my brother.
I just need water or something. You can you get some fucking water?
I have some of his words, my sister. Yeah, I don't know how much I know, But I knew my father. But also, he built and he acted. He had he had a vitality, a force. But my God, the sheer, look at it, the lives and the livings and the things that he made. The money, the corpuscles of life gushing around this nation, this world, filling men and women all around with desire. He made life happen. He made me and my 3 siblings.
She's like, I don't know about that. He carried y'all? Mama looked like, oh, I didn't know he carried you for 9 months and pushed you out.
He was comfortable with this world. And he knew it. He knew it, and he liked it. And I say amen to that.
I have a lot of thoughts on that mighty Willie Hod.
Diplomats and prime ministers and world bankers, and I don't know, he kept us outside. Hard to be his daughter. I can't not. He was hard on women. Couldn't fit a whole woman in his head, but he did okay. You would never have dared not to come to his funeral when he was alive.
Yeah, well, the thing about your dad is that he's lost quite a lot of influence over the past few days.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I know, it's fine. Yeah, I wasn't sure that I wanted to keep it. Then I wasn't sure that it was okay, but it turns out that by all accounts it is.
Listen, I might need your help, bro. Lucas and Shiv, it's possible there might be an accommodation with Lincoln.
No, we had an agreement. And, he's going to block
we don't
the deal.
have a lot of leverage at this point.
Y'all voted in an asshole. Surprise, he was an asshole and screwed you all over.
Oh, really feel so great.
Yeah, I know. That's because you fucked him.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, it's okay,
What the fuck?
It's okay. Look, it happened. You thought you were dad, you tried to dad it. We don't want to say bye-bye to Waystar. We have to get fucking real and fight Shiv at the board. The Roy boys versus Shiv the Shiv.
Does your brother look emotionally ready for all of this?
Who recorded? I think it was Ray. Listen to this. He sounds like a sow that's about to get the stun gun and knows it. Don't listen. No, this circulating. Don't play. That's not right.
Oh, that's not right. No, it's not right. You're walking.
Jesus Christ.
Something's gonna happen. Does Roman die? Oh my God.
Oh! Idiots. Fucking morons, all of you.
What are you doing?
Fuckers. Fuck you. Oh, fuck you, piece of shit. I'm the fool.
Oh. The guy barely touched you and you were down. This was stupid, Roman. Maybe maybe he just needed to feel a bit of pain to remember his dad. It's like, oh yes, it's like dad's still with me. Pain. Okay, so that was episode 9, where we get into Logan's funeral, which was all over the place. Everyone had feels everywhere. Roman, I think, was like the story of the episode. But for me, that speech that was done by Ewan, I don't know the actor's name, but that for me was the part that stood out. There was just such a calm, honest, it's like there was such conviction in every word. I want to go back and listen to his speech again. It was just, I felt like I was watching a play. I don't know if you ever been to a play and you see an actor just stand on the stage and command a scene, an audience. No replay, yes, you have your lights, but they're very minimum. It's just you and the audience in a small room, and you say every word with conviction, with heart, with feeling. You feel that. I feel like with Ewan, his actor really made you feel the history. Like, you can imagine it. I can imagine that 4-year-old and that 5.5-year-old speaking through nothing but eye contact, relaying their fear, their uncertainty. It's just, there was such a regality to the way he spoke, to the way he commanded that scene, that audience. It just, I couldn't speak through the entire moment because it was beautiful. It was a beautiful performance. The writing was so damn good. So well done. I don't know if the actor took any kind of, sometimes actors will improv certain words to make it like flow better for their diction, or what feels right for them in the moment. But if it was done verbatim, even if it wasn't, just that synergy between writer, character, actor. Perfect. I think that was probably the best summation of Logan Roy in this story. And to think they were going to stop good old Uncle Ewan from giving his speech, and he had the best speech. Now, speaking of Kendall's, to go on to Kendall's speech. Oh no, I want to talk, Kendall's speech. Let me touch on Kendall's before I touch on Shiv's. But Kendall's, I feel like that force, that fire, that will he spoke of. You have individuals who don't act in this world. They're the types who will think I can't before they will think I can. I definitely see individuals like Logan Roy who don't even think the word can't or can. Their mouths just say I can. It's not even, there's not even a doubt or an uncertainty. And I feel like individuals with that sweeping will that just washes everything up that it touches, it's not a choice for individuals like that. It's not, to me, people like that, and they do exist in this world, action without uncertainty, for me, it isn't a leap of faith. It isn't bravery. I don't know if, because we don't really see Logan as a child or as a teenager, we don't get much of that, but we do get a lot of him as an adult. And his uncertainty always felt like a manipulation. Like anytime he spoke like, should I do this? Can I do this? Would I do this? It always felt like he was working an angle. Because when it came down to it, there was such a belief that it would never go wrong. If you know what I'm saying, like that sweeping will, that belief that you can without scaling in an uncertainty that you can't or it may never go wrong. I don't know, there's just something about that to me that feels unearned. Like people who have big dreams, but they're terrified. It may not go well. They're always scaling in the possibility it can go wrong, and yet they still trudge forward. There's a strength and a bravery in that I feel like is admirable to those who do act, but their action does not come without 1,001 I can'ts before they finally act on the can. I don't know, that's just me. I feel like I not to say I don't tip my hat off to the sweeping will that just crushes everything in its path, and it doesn't know how not to act. Yeah, I mean, that can be very bad too. I mean, you have people, I mean, action. I'm not going to applaud people who act simply because they act. I mean, person has the will to act on murder. You know, you have the desire to kill someone, but you don't do it. You know, I'm going to applaud the person who made the choice not to versus the person who had the will to act on murdering someone. So I'm not just going to applaud will and action, fire and vitality when it did craft so much negativity. I feel like I feel like Kendall and Ewan's speech is like, it's like siblings. Well, not even siblings, but prefaces. I feel like in a way, parts of Ewan's speech comes first, like his childhood, and then you put in Kendall's entire speech, and then you put in the last part of Ewan's speech. Like that is the finality of that will, that sweeping will that Kendall kind of spun into a positive life, which you understand because that's his father. You want to protect his image, even though, I mean, he did say, you know, screw that old man, destroy his image. For my benefit, you know, now he doesn't want dad's image to get like ruined at his funeral or whatever, but you know, hey, whatever is what suits you about Kendall. But yes, back to Ewing. He does a wonderful job at summarizing the end game or the reality of what that sweeping, unrelenting, immovable object meets unstoppable force type will. Ultimately, that was being put into something. You know what? Now that I'm thinking of Ewing's speech, how it ended, I just thought of Ewing's speech and how he ended it, and how he said there's a meagerness that he fueled in everyone because it was in him, and maybe it was in him too. See, just him including that, Ewing, the fact that he thought to include himself in that meagerness, that smallness of the human nature that Logan preyed upon. It's like he was a predator preying on the worst parts of humanity and stoking it and setting it ablaze and profiting off of it. And the reason he did that so eagerly, I can't believe I'm going to bring this into it, but I'm going to bring in Hunger Games. It's like, I don't know if you all watch the new Hunger Games. I have a reaction onto it on the channel, but towards the end of the movie, a bit of a spoiler if you don't want to be spoiled, you're going to have to like skip ahead 2 minutes, or just a minute, but at the end of the movie, you know, one of the characters asked Snow, like, why do we need the Hunger Games? And it's like to remind ourselves of like the reality of like the darker natures of humanity, and it's like he gives up because it's like he's at a fight or a war with himself, with the awful parts of himself, and ultimately he loses that fight. He loses staying on the good side of human nature that Lucy Gray spoke on. He lost and ultimately gave up that fight that she viewed to be, Lucy Gray's character viewed to be our life's work, to stay on that other side of the line. And not only did he cross it, he gave up on trying to even get back. He just decided to give up. And because he gave up, he decided that the Hunger Games was necessary to show everyone's worst parts. So I feel like that's what Ewing meant in terms of Logan stoking the meagerness in humanity, because it was in him too. He had such a small-minded view of the world, these stereotypes that he just preyed on and profited off of, and Roman getting his ass stomped on at the end there is part of the results of doing that for decades. Now, Rome. What a performance by Kieran Culkin. Those tears, those whimpers. It was essentially a culmination of, since season 1, episode 1, episode 2, when he was in the hospital, where it's like his worst fears realized, and it's like it was all a bit of a joke in a way. Like, he expected his father to like come around the corner or pop up out that casket, or not even be in there. Like, it was all a joke. Like, haha, Dad's pulling our leg, and him not being able to speak. I resonated with that. Listen, I cry so easily. If you watch my reactions, you know it does not take much for me to water up. Hell, I watered up in this one too, but I couldn't cry because that scene, probably more than anything I've ever watched, beyond the Coco ending. Like, when I watched the movie Coco, that when I ended that, couldn't even do a recap. I don't think I ever cried as hard as, no, The Last of Us, that episode with oh my God, I forgot their characters. Whatever, Last of Us, that was the hardest I ever cried in a reaction. Coco's the second one. But this scene, and all the things that I've reacted to, probably hit the hardest. Roman going up there and not being able to speak, and his siblings having to come and get him. That happened to me. Probably why I couldn't cry. Or it was just too, like, when you're kind of stunned because you relate to something so much and you can't speak, you can't react, you're just stuck. That was kind of me right there, watching that entire thing unfold. Granted, I was not an adult when that happened. I was 7, about to turn 8. But yes, and it wasn't at his funeral. It was at his viewing. But yes, I got up to do a little speech. Couldn't do it. Everyone had to come get me, and I cried. But yes, Kieran Culkin has this ability to piss, like the way he inhabits Roman, I can be so angry at him. And then he creates this smallness in him, this vulnerability in him, this childlike, I don't want to call it childlike innocence, but a childlike naivete to him that makes you, it doesn't make you necessarily empathize with him, but it definitely makes you understand why he clings to his father the way he does. It's like a little boy's trapped in him, and that little boy is yearning for his father constantly, and he's willing to get whatever parts of him that he can get to. If you can understand what I'm saying, like, it's not an innocence, it's just a naivete, like there's a ignorance, like a childlike ignorance to Roman's character in regards to his father, where he just wants his dad's love. He wants to matter to his dad. When he asked, is he in there? It's heartbreaking. And then Shiv's speech. I wanted to speak on Shiv's speech. She said a line about he couldn't fit a whole woman in his head. And the camera focused in on Kendall for that entire line, for a long time. And it did make me think of Jess, because he had such tortured interactions with 2 women, Rava and Jess. And it's like, he gets it wrong with them in this episode. He centers himself because he can't see all of where they're coming from, or there's a refusal to see all of what they're coming from, where they're coming from. Just his treatment of Jess in that moment. It's so, and I hope he does not make it difficult for her to get another job. Those spiteful bosses are the ones that make it seem like you owe them everything after, it's not like their labor was free. Like, what do you mean? It's like the labor wasn't free. Jeez, just insanity. Insanity to me, the way he reacted to Jess. And maybe she caught some of the flack that was Rava, but good. I will say it's a recurring theme. Just this one last thing on Rava, but it's a recurring theme with Rava where when Kendall, I distinctly remember it happening in season 1 in the finale where they had that interaction. She does it a lot. Anytime Kendall gets really riled up and she sees the conversation is going to spill into a yelling match, she immediately like puts her hands up, like, okay, Kendall, bye. And she exits the situation like, yes. She does not engage. She's like, the second he gets into that spot, she puts her hands up, says, okay, Kendall, you do you, you're right, whatever. I'm going to walk away. I'm not even going to like dignify this space of the energy he's coming at her with. That's completely unnecessary. And it's not conductive whatsoever when he goes into that place. It's not. And she doesn't engage in it. And that's one thing that I probably like about Robin, why I want her to have the kids. Him trying to go after her for custody too. Like, you got a lot. You have much bigger problems. You are the bigger problem. You should be thankful that you have Rava to take care of your kids. Because God forbid you had a Shiv and a Tom. Where you gonna go with them two? That child that is cooking in her belly with all of the alcohol. I don't think she did any of the substances that Matson offered her, but that baby has been growing inside Shiv with different stuff swimming around in her. And now it's going to come out to Tom. It's going to wake up. It's going to come out of her, and it's going to see Tom and Shiv and say, I'm screwed, but at least I'm rich. But then again, these kids came out and looked at Caroline and Logan and said, hey, I'm screwed, but I'm rich. But they're all rich and miserable. So maybe being rich and screwed isn't the way to go. Either way, Kendall's kids at least have Rava. That baby inside Shiv. It's going to look up and see Tom and Shiv and say, I hope I use my wealth for therapy. Because I'm going to need a whole shit ton of it with them two as parents. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I always appreciate it. Next episode is the finale. I want to get into it. I think I got enough space on my camera for that. So let me get into it before I kill all the space in my camera. So thank you all so much for watching. I always appreciate the support, and I will see you all for the next episode. Take care, everyone.